If there's anything you'd like to lead off with or start with, or we could just open it up for any questions, however you'd like to go about it.
We can just open it up. I'm ready.
Great, okay. Looks like Supervisor Short.
I'm going to steal Supervisor Starkey's thunder a little bit here. She reminded me that last year you asked for space. And was going to kind of wonder if there's been any progress or any kind of attempted movement toward investigating where you may expand to or trade or go to or anything like that.
Well, I didn't exactly ask for space. I said that's what, in a perfect world, that would be wonderful. But
well, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
So not really. No. Options are limited because I really would need to stay in the Flynn Center. We work too closely with Assessor's Office, CDD, customers. It just would not be beneficial if we were in a different facility or off premises. There's just, it wouldn't be good for customers. So that's the biggest problem is we would have to stay in the Flynn Center. And the room is what's here is here unless we want to do an add-on.
You wouldn't be in favor of moving Barb to the basement?
A third story.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. I've been upstairs up there. That would make it great.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think that it's a fair thing, and I think when we need to look at space, I mean, we did it recently with the district attorney's office and probation, right? We did a feasibility study for $48,000. I think that we have to look at our departments and the space that they need in order to provide the effective services for the community. So whether that means somehow putting into this year's budget, and I don't know how that works. I don't know if that would be a capital improvement item, if that gets budgeted someplace else, but it is something that perhaps we look at the arts and crafts building. I don't know what it's called. What's it called? Manual arts. How much does it cost to make that ADA compliant? I don't know, right? But maybe that is the solution that we need. And I think that is one thing with the board being involved with the budget discussions is like we can help try and guide those allocations. We're hearing from department heads. We want to make sure that you are all providing the best possible services in a comfortable space and in the environment that needs to happen. So if I were to be able to, I would want that on that list of potential things that we work at, whether it be a feasibility study or if it's just we start looking at how we can use that space up there, make it ADA compliant in order for that to be accessible, maybe not for you, but for some other, maybe the board of supervisors moves there and you move upstairs, something. But to relook at the needs. The Flynn Center was remodeled in 2000, I believe. So that's 25 years that we've been here. 25 years, departments grow, departments shrink, and we need to make sure that we're looking at that. So if I were to have a wish list myself, it would be to reassess the needs of the departments that are currently in this. I don't know if Clint, I know I should be really formal and say auditor, controller, Shad, but I mean, I don't know if he has enough space. I don't know if Barbara has enough space. And so those are just things that I think it's time for us to maybe reassess and look at, are we meeting the needs of our departments? So thank you for bringing it up, Supervisor Short, because it is a concern of mine.
And the public as well. You know, when we have elections going, you have people that can't get in the office to get a birth certificate because, everybody's in there voting. And when you have people in there voting or getting birth certificates, people that want to get in there to vote or vice versa. So it affects the public as well.
Yeah, good, thank you. I mean, so like some sort of assessment, some sort of formalized feasibility, something needs to happen so that we are actually acting upon some of this stuff. So that's going to be my pitch for that. With regard to elections, I don't have a ton of questions for you. I'm sorry. I know. So, but I do want to ask my standards. How many employees are budgeted for the elections and how many are you have filled?
Myself and one employee who I do not have. We just made an offer and I was told I think they accepted, so we should have that position filled shortly.
Perfect. Okay. But then when we get to the county clerk, you have more employees?
Yes.
Because I see sometimes people working in there. Okay. Then the other question that I have, because it shows that the election services, it's under your revenue. My question is why we don't budget anything for this year, because this goes into 2026, and I believe there's an election in 2026.
In June and in November,
Okay.
but November will be,
So why didn't we budget anything revenue-wise for that?
election services, we only collect services on the November election when all the special districts
Okay.
go to election, and I bill them if they, and most of them do not go to election in June or have anything unless they absolutely have to, because it's extra money for them. But, so election services is always on the November election.
So that's your special, your fair, your, Parks and Rec Board, it's those things. And then you just bill them, from what I recall, just their actual services or what the estimated cost is for your office to put them on the ballot to do that.
Their share, yeah.
Okay, all right. That was my only question for elections. Yep, but, nope, I lied. The primary election, we have 145. Is that because just explain to me what that is. I'm a little confused why it's a outgoing expense every other year. Is it because that's just the expense to have the election?
Yes, like for printing ballots, not the postage, but the envelopes, all of the costs, so all the advertising that we have to do, the notices, we have to go in the paper, everything like that. Everything associated with the election other than labor, staff time.
Okay. That's where I got confused because I was like, I didn't understand it, so thank you. Because that's primary and then there's general. I think that's where I got
Yeah.
confused. Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, let's go down to the clerk recorder budget.
So how many staff do you have there?
3 and myself.
Are you 50/50 then? 50 elections?
Yes, 50
Okay.
elections, 50 clerk.
And 0 vacancies on that.
0 vacancies on that side. And we do have a part-time person as well.
Okay. The HVAC, it's probably silly, but was there a reason why it was requested but not fulfilled?
It was fulfilled.
Okay, because it's showing 0.
It happened late, but yes, it was fulfilled.
Okay.
It's not working, but it was fulfilled.
I know. Are you cold, or are you cold or hot? Which one are you?
Depends on the time of year.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. But I also noticed another department put in the HVAC system. So what I'm curious to know, and it's maybe not a question for you, but maybe the budget team as a whole, if there is a repair that happens within an office, let's say, auditor controller Shad had some flooring put in this last year, which looks lovely and wonderful. Whose budget does that come out of? Does it come out of the auditor controller, or does it come out of capital improvement or deferred maintenance?
So the smaller projects, like a flooring project, would come out of, I would budget for that and have to pay for that to the building maintenance. Any large ticket items would be capital improvements, so $50,000 or more with a lifespan of 5 years, kind of one of our triggers there. But the smaller projects, we should be budgeting for those. And then,
So where would the HVAC fit into that?
for who's off, it'd be in the 4, so for elections or clerk recorder.
It was the clerk recorder, yeah.
Yep, so that would be,
It's under fixed assets, but does it come out of her budget, or does it come out
no, that'd be
of-
her budget, she'd
It was
budget for that.
my budget.
Okay,
Because so let's say, for example, we budgeted in building maintenance. We'd still want to remove that out of that budget unit because we wouldn't want, say, my HVAC system to be calculated in the building maintenance cost for their cost plan charges to the whole county. So, for example, we wouldn't want Alicia's getting her HVAC system caught in Alan's budget, building maintenance budget, and costing that out, say, to Health Human Services or to Sheriff, everybody else, because that's specific to her budget unit. So we try and identify those as much as possible. We don't want to include those in charges to people that shouldn't be being charged for those.
Well, since you brought up cost plan, and again, just a general question, because I know Alicia's budget for the clerk recorder has a cost plan of $57,000. And that's 2 years ago's charges.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's a rolling number from year prior to the year next, yeah.
Is that ever going to change, or is that a good system?
That's the good system. That's what the whole state does. Every
Okay.
county has it.
So you
And we have to have that in place. We have to have that in place and be audited every year by the state and approved so we can charge it to all of our departments, even the non-general fund and our grants to recoup our costs. If we didn't have that in place, we wouldn't have an approved allocation or billing, more or less, invoicing to some degree. So that's how we capture costs from all over.
Okay, but does the departments get to see their invoice, so to speak, from 2 years ago?
If the departments, some departments ask for the schedule breakdown, and I share that with them. Some departments don't.
Okay.
We discuss it, like I said, it's vetted pretty thoroughly, but I can give it to any department that wants to see it. Several years ago, we hired on an external firm to take care of it. And so we've hired a consultant on the last couple of years, and they've been working through the process, and then we go through the state every year for an audit, and they have to approve our charges.
Okay. The last question I have for you, Alissia, is it feels like under your revenues for your property transfer tax, your clerk's trust, and your county clerk recording fees, it seems as if you went kind of conservative on those projections. Is that something that you just typically do, conservative, or you anticipate something?
Yes, but we had also kind of hit, sales were a little down, homes weren't really moving, transfer tax seemed to be down a little bit, but it seems to be bouncing back a little bit, so we were surprised. We had actually also a couple of large transactions that happened that helped.
Okay. All right, appreciate you as always.
Okay, no other questions?
I forgot to ask my one question. If we have discretionary funding at the end of the year, that somehow we magically are able to make decisions that help out departments, is there anything that your department would like to have us consider?
And we talked about it, but space really is important. I don't know, and anyone's welcome to come take a look at my office that would like. It's small. And it's mainly at election time, but also, we're the keeper of records, and we have books over here, we have stuff in storage, and these records are, very important, vital documents that are over 100 years old, some of them, and it's, they're strung all over the place, and it really would be nice to have just more space. That would be if it was my dream, my Christmas wish list, it would just be to have enough space. At election time, you see us moving from over there, we're in the closed session room, we're even in here, when we're doing maintenance, the preventative maintenance on the machines, and we're in here. So it's, it really would save time also if we were not moving stuff all over the place and trying to find somewhere to work on our stuff and be able to just stay there. But it really is, it would be space. Just,
Okay.
More space to be able to get our work done and not feel like we're in the way.
Okay.
Okay.
So it'll be my hope that we could, at some point, give some direction to at least start that conversation. So,
It would be nice.
thank you.
I will open up for public comment, and then after we close public comment, if you feel there's anything you can address, that would be great. Is there any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, then thank you so much.
Thank you.